All right, welcome everyone. I hope you're doing well today. So, I'm David Gonzalez. I used to be a full-time Amazon employee. Now I self-travel, and I wanted to connect with some new people, kind of get my name out there, and yeah. So I'm happy you're here. If you're watching the replay, thank you. You may not see me live, but yeah, I'm grateful that you're watching. Please go ahead, like, subscribe. Um, but more importantly, I want you to start thinking about taking that travel dream you've had and making it into a loving memory. I'm seeing a lot of people, I've talked to a lot of people, especially now that I'm doing the travel thing, they're saying, oh my God, I want to go here, I want to go there. I go, okay, let me help you. Oh, I'm not sure. And so the biggest barrier I see is that people ready to take the leap and they're just afraid because they're playing it up in their mind and it's not helpful. So my number one rule about your dream travel, your dream vacation, stop making the vacation itself your bucket list item. You could go to these places, go to Venice, go to Barcelona, go to London, and you could be there for 2 weeks and still not see everything. So not thinking that you're going to take this one big trip and you're going to see everything and your bucket list is going to be fulfilled. Um, so one of the things that I recommend is to list your destination and all the places you want to go and rank them by the need. What is the number one thing that you absolutely have to go see or experience? What is the number one thing? What is it like if you don't do this is gonna waste your entire trip? Once you work your way down from that, generally I try to put no more than 2 to 3 items per day on a trip. So let's say you're doing a week-long trip, so you have travel day on each end, so you have 5 good days. That means you could usually see between 5 and 15 activities, excursions, whatever you want to call them. The idea behind that is that you're not rushed and you're truly able to appreciate and rest. Recently I went to New Orleans for the first time and it was fun. Now I'm not huge on the, Bourbon Street drinking till you're sloshed, all that crap. Um, I did get some beans. Anyway, um, but one of the things I enjoyed doing was doing a cooking class. That was a half day event, where came in, learned how to cook 3 items, New Orleans style. Um, and then the, okay, um, other thing I liked was the World War II Museum. So they have the National World War II Museum is in New Orleans, Louisiana. Um, I do feel that's kind of an odd spot for it, um, but it is one of the best museums I've ever been to because that was the only thing on my calendar for that day. I was able to spend 7 hours just going through every little bit of that museum. Every little bit. I checked out every exhibit, watched every video, did every immersive activity that they offered. I was there for over 7 hours, and yeah, it was one of the best experiences I've ever had. So when you're planning this stuff, make sure you're accounting for lines or for leisure time, because you will need time to kind of decompress. If you're going to Poland and you end up going to Auschwitz, you're going to need time afterwards to decompress from what you see. Um, and also when you get back from your vacation, you should not feel like you need a vacation from your vacation so you can get ready for work. Um, but yeah, so number one, not making the vacation itself your bucket list item. Have certain aspects of the vacation be a bucket list item. Um, but the trip in itself, you should be planning trips for every year. And I know it's weird coming from me, because I'm a workaholic. I went pretty much 7 years without actually taking a real vacation. Um, and then where did I go? I went to Vegas. And what was my bucket list item? Well, it was two things. One, I grabbed a really good deal and I ended up in the corner penthouse suite at the Bellagio. I got it for a really good deal. And, so I knew based on the timing of my trip that this is gonna be a now or never kind of thing. And I just wanted to live it up in Vegas, once, you know. And that was a nice um that was a really nice suite. They had three bathrooms and I used them all just because I had three bathrooms I could use. Um but my bucket list item for that trip was to see part of the big piece that was recovered from the RMS Titanic. Anyone who's known me for more than 6 months knows that I am crazy about the disaster. I've been into it since 1989, so well before the James Cameron film. Um, and so getting to go to their exhibit at the Luxor and to have this massive piece of the actual ship, um, for me, that just made it so much more real. I've seen artifacts. I even met the scientist who discovered the wreck back in 1985, Dr. Robert Belland. And so, this wasn't new to me, but, just being able to see the actual part of the ship, um, that's about as close as I've ever gotten to being arrested in Vegas. Because all they had was like that little cord, and I'm like, I just want to touch the hole. I just want to feel the hole. And my brain's like, are you really going to have to call your dad and ask for bail money for touching the Titanic? It might have been worth it. Um, anyway, so let's go to what we're going to discuss today. Sorry, themed travel. And I know it says by Cruise Planners. So Cruise Planners is a franchise that I have. I'm based out of Amarillo, Texas. And as you see, I like to read. I'm in my office, and you can find my website here at mycustomvoyage.com. And I am more than happy to help you navigate the site, help you plan that trip so that way you're able to make that dream a lasting memory. So themed travel. What do we mean by themed travel? Okay, so you have all these different tours. You have land tours, you have river cruises, you have ocean cruises, you have regular cruises, and then you have themed travel. So themed travel is any expedition or activity that's based around a common thing. So one example would be the Star Trek cruise. That's a privately chartered cruise ship. They basically buy out the whole ship, then they sell the organizing charter company sells it kind of like a VidCon or a Comic Con, where they've invited all these speakers and stars from the shows and all this stuff, um, and they put it all on this ship. So it's kind of like a conference, but just for Star Trek. And they've had it for like 5 years now, and it sells out every year because the franchise can support it. So that's what we mean by theme cruising. There's also stuff like um, for religious travel that can be considered themed travel because you're traveling um, based on a theme of either like following the footsteps of the cross or early Christian early Christianity or early Judaism or early Islamic um like the road from Damascus according to Salah ad-Din. Um there's a lot of options there. Um and it got cloudy real quick. Um but anyway, so those themes are good because it puts you in with a group of like-minded travelers, especially sorry, if you're traveling solo or you're introverted, going here, you have something in common with these folks, with who you're traveling with. Another thing is that these are highly organized trips. They are not just, okay, we'll drop you off here, be back by this time, and that's it. That's a normal cruise. Uh, they just drop you off at the dock. They say, hey, be back by this time, otherwise we're gonna leave you here. Um, the need some water. All right. So a lot of these are created by third parties or by actual companies that partner with travel advisors to help them sell something that people are going to keep interest in. Um, so like one thing I saw was like a 9-day trip through Israel and ends in Old City, Jerusalem, and that started at I believe 5,500. Um, which is a definite value because that included airfare. Um, and you think 8 days, 8-day trip. Just think, divide that by 5,000 or 5,000 by that. Um, and think about hotel costs, food costs, air travel costs. ground travel costs. I mean, the value in these is very, very high for what you're putting in. One of the biggest issues I see with potential clients is that, you know, they see the dollar sign and the comma and they don't actually work it out and see that they're actually saving money, and you don't have to take the 8 day. They offer different things. And also, a lot of them say, you know what, if this doesn't work, contact us, let us work this out with you, because maybe you only need like a 3 day, quick little jaunt through Israel, and say, look, I just want to see this, this, and this. Again, this is taking that bucket list and taking the items from that destination and ranking them. So now you know, like, okay, if I go to Israel for 4 days, this is what I need to see. I have to see these things. And then you go to your travel advisor saying, this is it. This is what I have to go see. And then the trip advisor will partner with the vendor to create what they can. Um, and then there are some where it is literally just sign up. So the Star Trek cruise is organized by a private company. They do not work with travel advisors, but you still use a travel advisor to help you with your airfare, lodgings, um, cars, transportation, insurance. Make sure you insure your get insurance for your trip, not only for just in case anything goes wrong with the ship, but also for your own medical uh, safety. So a lot of people do not realize that your employer covered insurance usually does not exceed the uh, perimeter of the United States of America. So imagine being uninsured and you're in Guatemala. Well, without the insurance, you're paying their medical bills, you're paying medical transportation costs, you know, you're paying for the rest of the cruise that you're not a part of because you're in a hospital in Guatemala. Um, I'm not saying anything against Guatemala. That was the name that popped up in my head for the example. Um, so yeah, the insurance, yeah, it's a pain, but it's not as much as people think. And just to have that peace of mind there. Um, but yeah, so that's some way that your travel advisor can help. But always ask because you never know. There are some charter companies that do work with travel advisors because they know, like, hey, I may know a lot of people who um like a certain artist, and they're having a certain artist do a themed cruise. Well, yeah, they're gonna want people to sell that. Um, if they're not connected as well with the core audience that they're trying to reach, it's a win-win. The travel advisor gets compensated, and they're able to reach out to the proper demographic, and the customer has a wonderful time. So one example of this is violinist Lindsey Sterling. So if you don't know who that is, shame on you. Um, I'm an old Lindsay OG fan, and I've seen her go from just being kind of a YouTuber to actually being a full music artist, and yeah, she's a juggernaut. She really is fantastic, and she is what you get. What you see is what you get. Um, you know, she very has a very very good heart, talented musician. But she's doing a cruise in May of next year with Norwegian Cruise Lines, and I might even go on this one because, like I said, I'm a big fan. Um, of course, with the cost of the trip, I am asking for a backup dancer to come with the cabin, but you know, I don't think that's gonna happen. But um, here's Lindsay. There we go. All right. Yeah, it was supposed to shut off when I switched back, but it didn't. Oh well. So one of the things I like to do, so a little more about my past. I used to be pretty heavy into live streaming when Periscope was around. That was the Twitter live streaming app. That really got mobile live streaming, it made it very popular. And I literally made friends around the globe, people who I still talk to this day. So many people I see more than my own family. And so one of the things that we would teach each other as the platform was growing was to give um, not only good content, um, but to give out, to bring value. And so, how am I going to bring value to you? Well, this. So, you have an opportunity to win a 3-night stay for two at the Young, a Ritz Carlton Reserve in Los Cabos, Mexico. So, this is a resort. Um, as you see, they have this beautiful pool here. They're right on the beach. And if you scan that QR code, it's going to take you to a survey on my website. You fill out the survey, you're in. And then at the end of the month, they will draw and let we'll find out who won. Now, what's funny is I have this posted on two different social medias, and what I have found through experience is that the reason why people don't win is that they never actually do the work to win. You would be amazed at how few people um, actually will fill out a survey. It doesn't cost you any money, um, but it will enter you if you fill it out. I mean, it takes maybe a minute for the form. What's a minute? You know, I've been going on for over 34 minutes. So you could have put that in. I could have had 34 people, one per minute, entering. So um, a lot of people don't realize that, you know, the winners are it's usually a lot closer than people think it is. It's not you and a million other people. It's usually you and 12 other people, because no one else is actually taking the time. All right. So I'm going to transition to a video about river cruising, and then we'll discuss that kind of thing, cruise.
If you're fascinated by new cultures and experiences, then an Avalon cruise along the Danube will keep you enthralled. This is Europe's grand voyage and the world's most international river. Spanning across all of Central and Eastern Europe, the Danube passes through 10 countries and 4 capital cities. Just imagine the unique experience of sampling the wonderful diversity of food, architecture, history, and traditions that you'll discover along the way. Depending on which of our Danube cruises you choose, your discovery could include beautiful Regensburg, Germany. Imagine being surrounded by the Germany of 100 years ago as you gaze upon the amazing cathedral here. Or picture yourself sipping a world-famous German beer and enjoying authentic German cuisine in a beer garden. Downstream, you'll come upon the peninsula of Passau, where the confluence of 3 rivers gives this city a truly unique setting that's as picturesque as any you'll encounter in Europe. The lush, rolling green hills along the Danube let you know you're now in the famed Wachau region, where wine connoisseurs will delight in sampling some of Austria's most prized wines. Imagine sipping a refreshing Gruner Veltliner on the steep, stony slopes overlooking the Danube. You might take in Melk and the Baroque splendor of its Benedictine Abbey, just one of the many monasteries you can visit. Its renowned library lets you step back in time as you gaze upon an amazing collection of books and manuscripts from as far back as 1500 AD. In the picturesque town of Dürnstein, you can hike up to the ruins of the medieval castle where Richard the Lionheart was held captive. Next, you could find yourself exploring the streets of Vienna, the city of music. Walk in the footsteps of composers like Mozart and Strauss. Have your piece of Sachertorte and visit a cafe in the former capital of the Habsburg Empire. Then enjoy Bratislava, the little cousin of Vienna and the capital and cultural center of Slovakia. The town has blossomed since the fall of the Iron Curtain, with its museums, outdoor cafes, and lush green parks. Next up, you'll sail into Budapest and admire the mighty Hungarian parliament from your ship as you enter the city. Another captivating stop is beautiful and diverse Croatia. With its rich history, delicious cuisine, fine wines, and friendly people. Further south into revitalized Eastern Europe, the Danube winds into Serbia, allowing you to explore the historic town of Novi Sad, as well as the capital city of Belgrade, full of lively pedestrian areas and mighty fortresses. Sailing on, you'll be amazed by the dramatic narrow gorges of the famed Iron Gates, lined with ancient Roman ruins, separating Romania to your north and Serbia to your south. Your Danube journey could end with a grand finale at Bulgaria and Romania, shining examples of true Eastern Europe. Highlights include the ancient hilled capital of Veliko Tarnovo and its beautiful artwork, the fascinating city of Constanta and its impressive archaeological museum, or the bustling metropolis of Bucharest. Many itineraries even include a stay in Prague, the city of 100 spires, featuring fairy tale views of its 1,000-year-old history. A Danube cruise brings you an East meets West experience unlike any other river can.
Okay, welcome back. So that was Avalon Waterways, and I'm still seeing that. There we go. Okay. So river cruising's a rising trend in the cruising world. So odds are you probably heard of it and might want to understand what's going on with that. So with river cruising, a lot of it is uh, very themed. You know, they let's see how should I put it? They're themed, but they're not themed. So a lot of common themes would be culinary, like you would go on a river cruise that has a themed focus. There we go. Themed focus of um, like uh, culinary. I don't know why I had such a hard time with that. Culinary and wine. And so they frequent places that you're either doing a cooking class or a wine tasting. Another might be tracing music history. Going down the Danube River, visiting Salzburg, the birthplace of Mozart, Vienna, where so many classical bits and pieces were introduced because of the enlightened Emperor Joseph II of Austria. And then, let's see, what else is there? You could go see Mozart's monument, Beethoven's grave there. Um, you go to opera houses that have had historic, um, performances there, and so those are the types of things that you can get on a river cruise. This year, one of the things they did, and they're actually going to continue, is Normandy. So it turns out there is quite a market for people who want to go to Normandy to see where D-Day actually happened and to visit the cemeteries in Normandy where a lot of young men were killed and still rest there. Um, but starting out in Normandy or starting out in Paris and going over there, um, another option there is to combine it. Fly into London, um, and then take the tunnel through over to France, and then end up in Paris, and then end up on your um trip to Normandy, your river cruise there. There's a lot of options, a lot of options. I'm realizing today I badly need a haircut before I travel to California. Um, so yeah, I will be live streaming a lot more. Um, Mondays are going to be reserved for YouTube. Tuesdays I will be on LinkedIn doing travel tips. Wednesdays I'm going to be on Instagram. It's all about Caribbean escapes, and I'm not talking about Jack Sparrow or Lindsey Graham. Uh, Thursdays I'll be talking about land tours on Twitch, and Fridays I will be talking again about river cruises, but in far deeper depth um, on Facebook. So you'll start seeing more of me. Again, if you're watching the replay, thank you, and have a wonderful week. Take care.